Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Godfall, Demon Souls, God of War Ragnarok. Long ago, during the PS5 reveal event, everyone thought they knew what to expect from Sony's next generation of hardware. But everything changed when the Bugsnax teaser trailer dropped. Suddenly, things weren't so simple. The internet went wild trying to figure out just what the heck was Bugsnax. And now that it's finally here, I can explain. Bugsnax is a throwback to a simpler time, with a retro sense of opacity that will be comforting to some and annoying to others. And despite its kid-friendly exterior, Bugsnax deals with some heavy emotional reality. Oh, hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Completionist, where we don't just beat the games, we complete them. And hey, if you want to help us decide what games I complete on the show, join the mini producer tier over at patreon.com/completionist. There's a bunch of rewards and a bunch of cool stuff in there waiting for you, so check it out. Now, as you all know, everyone's talking about Bugsnax, but no one really understands what exactly they are. Luckily for me, I got an early review code so I can check them out right now. And the most important thing to me is to interrogate them and get more information about Bugsnax, because quite frankly, I don't trust them.
All right, listen here, you Bugsnax. No one knows what the hell you are. Are you kind of bug or kind of snack? Tell us the truth, damn it, you sons of bitches.
Here comes a new challenger!
Yes!
Danger! Perfect!
It really feels like Bugsnax fever came out of nowhere, like a chef sending out a surprise first course during a fancy dinner. But having lived through plenty of console generations, I can tell you that there's always a sleeper hit alongside the huge first-party titles. The PlayStation 4 may have launched with Killzone Shadowfall, but it also launched with Resogun. Bugsnax is this year's weird PlayStation exclusive, even though I actually played it on the Epic Games Store. There's always some kind of unique standout in a launch lineup, and Bugsnax is hands down the one for this fall. Soon after the August 2020 PS5 event, the Bugsnax trailer went viral. A combination of the adorable weirdness on screen and an insanely catchy theme song by Caro Bonito. The developers, Young Horses, were surprised and excited by the instant popularity. During development, Bugsnax went through several different forms, but the final version still lives up to the weirdness and is probably one of the most unique launch games ever. The mystery of Bugsnax has reached a crescendo, and everyone finally has the chance to figure out what's up. Bugsnax put me in the shoes of a journalist, trying to find and report on Elizabert Megafig. She's an adventurer who took off to the mysterious Snaktooth Island with a group. After crash landing on the island, my unnamed character, armed with only a journal, a tape recorder, and some pointed questions, sets out to rebuild the central town of Snaksburg. I'm there to figure out what happened to Elizabert, and through it all, I'll have to contend with Bugsnax in all their delicious glory, figuring out what they are, how to interact with them, and what everyone else on the island thinks of them. Each Bugsnax lives in its own little pocket of Snaktooth Island. I had to explore every corner of the island and learn the ways of the Bugsnax through trial and error. Same thing with the Grumps, the main NPCs in Bugsnax. Some were willing to talk to me up front, but other relationships had to be built over time. The main thrust of the game is bringing Grumps back to Snaksburg. I also had to fill out each page of my journal. To do that, I had to explore everywhere, with this game being in first person, to find each Grumpus and figure out what it would take to convince them to come back to town. Most of the time, they wanted me to bring them specific Bugsnax. Some Bugsnax can just be picked up off the ground, but most require specific tools in order to track, trap, and capture them. Learning the patterns of Bugsnax and how to get Grumps to talk to me seemed simple at first, but it wasn't always as easy as anticipated. Bugsnax doesn't just slam the next dish down in front of you. In an old school way, I often had to figure out a few things for myself. It's easy to get caught up in the hype of the next generation of consoles, but Bugsnax is like a comfort food of some kind. A reminder that not every game has to push every piece of hardware to its limits out the gate. Bugsnax feels comforting in that it isn't trying to reinvent the wheel, but instead draws on several different inspirations to create its own unique game. Bugsnax feels retro, with a lot of throwback sensibilities that are reassuring. Playing Bugsnax is like if Ape Escape and Pokemon Snap were tossed into a blender, pureed, and then poured into a smoothie cup. It's totally first person, though I was never on rails as I explore the island. Interestingly, I acquired several different snack catching tools the more I played, like an ape escape. Only instead of sassy monkeys, I had to deal with cute half snack, half bug creatures. Even the repetitive nature of the gameplay feels kind of like a callback to the past. Want a character to do something for you? You'll have to chat with them multiple times, or most likely, bring them a set of 3 specific Bugsnacks. There are some modern touches, like a pretty exhaustive checklist that let me know when an NPC want to chat with me, which was really helpful. But for how often Bugsnacks told me exactly what to do next, thanks to the handy objective tracker, there were plenty of moments where the game did exactly the opposite and left me to my own devices, which is a decidedly old school trait. Now, I've been around long enough to remember when video games didn't hold your hand all the time. That sense of opacity comes and goes depending on the genre, but I was surprised to see it with Bugsnacks. Oftentimes, I'd be told to go and catch a Bugsnack, like a sub-centipede, so that I could feed it to someone in Snacksburg, but the rest was up to me. No hints on where it might be or how to take it down, but this kind of obscurity, I like. It's reassuring to me that the developers still trust the players to figure things out for themselves. It was empowering to figure out how to get the Bugsnacks I needed. Learning that the trip shot could also light snacks on fire if you deployed it the right way was one of those things I figured out through trial and error. And once I did it, it opened up so many doors for me. Or learning that the buggy ball, basically a hamster ball with an adorable crawling strawberry inside instead of a hamster, could be doused with sauce to lure certain Bugsnacks to other locations. Now, this kind of stuff that I learned myself after a little time with Bugsnacks is right on. I mean this in the best possible way. This sort of basic yet kind of difficult puzzle solving took me right back to the early 3D days of gaming. Some of the achievements in this game tap into that same sense of obtuseness. I like that I stumbled into most of them by accident, just by playing the game and being curious. It feels good to try stuff and to be rewarded for doing it. Obviously, after I got the slingshot, I wanted to douse a grump in sauce and scan them. And lo and behold, there's an achievement attached to that. It felt comforting, like tasting a familiar flavor in an unfamiliar dish. Catching every Bugsnack started off as exciting because I couldn't wait to see what off-the-wall character designs the developers would come up with next. This game was actually developed by the same team who made Octodad, and I loved seeing the zany little snacks running around. After exploring a few sections of Snaktooth Island, I realized that a good amount of Bugsnacks were just palette swaps of each other. Yes, Strawby is like the mascot, but do we really need 4 or 5 differently colored berry-themed Bugsnacks? However, this is a tried and true aspect of game design, and I actually really liked the slightly different versions of each snack. There are even legendary Bugsnacks to encounter, giant creatures that only appear after fulfilling certain side quests. These feel wholly unique, and capturing them involves a lot more legwork. Bringing each one to heal involves a multi-step puzzle. Even though I spent probably way too much time trying to figure out how to fight a rampaging watermelon before realizing that, duh, there are stalactites to drop on it, it still felt cool to eventually come to that conclusion on my own. Instead of having an NPC character suddenly shout, "Hey, look up! What's up there above that giant watermelon? Is that an icicle?" Bugsnacks trusted me to get the message on my own, which was oddly refreshing. I was reminded of how things used to be done back in the day, very much a you figure it out mentality that was nice to be reminded of. Yet Bugsnacks sprinkles in a little bit of the modern design too, by not having game overs or a health meter to monitor. Bugsnacks strikes a comforting balance, featuring throwback game design dusted with some more recent touches. I actually liked feeling stumped now and then because it showed me that the people who made this game probably grew up like I did, where games had a little mystery to them. But Bugsnacks goes even further, as even the characters on Snaktooth Island aren't always sure what to do next. For the most part, playing Bugsnacks is like slurping soup. Easy, uncomplicated, and delightful. It's fun to bop along, fulfilling requests for the different grumps. But as the game goes on, and as I interviewed more and got to know every character, Bugsnacks touches on some real, hardcore, emotional substance that completely blindsided me and gave me a lot to chew on. It may be colorful and candy-coated, but Bugsnacks isn't afraid to get real. Take the excellently named Cromdo Face, a little guy who reminded me a lot of Rage from Inside Out. In fact, most of the Grumpus race looks like knockoff Pixar or Illumination Studio characters. Shoutouts to Ugly Dolls. Anyways, Cromdo came to Snaktooth Island to start anew with dreams of creating a business empire. At first, these ambitions seemed a lot like Cromdo was just trying to scam me, like when he sold me a bridge that instantly crumbled to pieces when I tried crossing it. But after I fulfilled all of his requests, I learned why he's such a hustler. Cromdo drops this truth bomb. I wasn't born rich, and that means I can't afford to be happy. Damn, Cromdo. I mean, look, I get it. Capitalism chews everyone up and spits them out, man and Grumpus alike. I just didn't expect to be suddenly confronted with that after I just spent the last 20 minutes trying to catch a flying banana creature called a red banooper. Bugsnax has always projected this weird vibe of something lurking beneath the surface. I just didn't expect the secret ingredient to be existential dread. Or how about a devastating conversation between Egabel and Lizbert, which anyone who has ever been in a serious relationship will identify with. Egabel accuses Elizabert of trying to micromanage her happiness, throwing out, "I found a way to make myself useful and happy and finally take control of my life. You're just upset that it doesn't involve you." I'm sorry, I thought I was here to gather Bugsnax and earn achievements. I didn't realize I had a front row seat to scathing dialogue worthy of an Edward Albee play. I felt like a first-time audience member for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and how they might feel. Uncomfortable. It's a surprisingly deep moment, and Bugsnax just keeps piling on the emotional reality as it goes. It's exciting to suddenly see the truth that these Muppet-like creatures have buried deep down inside. Maybe I should have believed in the power of Bugsnax, but I never would have thought this oddball game would have me re-examining my relationships with other people. Yet the more I think about it, maybe I shouldn't be so shocked. Bugsnax may be colorful and bright and happy on the outside, but even the reveal trailer from the PS5 showcase during the summer was mildly horrifying. What were the lyrics to the catchy upbeat theme song? "We are whatever we eat." I guess what the Grumps were eating was buried resentment and inability to express emotion fearlessly. Talking about Bugsnax indeed. As I explored the innocuous Snaktooth Island, I started to find things that would definitely scar a child playing this game. Like, yes, there's a rack of ribs that wriggles like a centipede, but there's also a series of tombs where the bones are totally picked over. What? Kinda bug and kinda snack. What the hell happened on this crazy island here before we all got here? I love that this game has a touch of darkness to it that gave me something to think about besides capturing the next Bugsnax. Fortunately, the mysteries of this game dovetail perfectly with completion. In fact, it's impossible to finish this game without interviewing every character and getting a sense of what makes them tick. It was satisfying to learn how the different characters related to each other and why they felt like they had to come on this expedition. Some, like Cromdo, wanted a fresh start. Others, like Wiggle the Pop Star, were so terrified of failure and obscurity that they were willing to try anything in search for creativity, up to and including turning parts of their body into popcorn. Even the snooty, stuck-up Beffica had some rock-solid advice. If I've learned anything in life, it's that you can't let your happiness depend on someone else. Just get that tattooed on my chest, man. She's right. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but sometimes you just have to listen to what a crazy game about half bugs and half snacks is telling you. There is always time to rebuild that damaged relationship, time to pursue your dreams, time to admit you were wrong, time to tell someone how you really feel about them. Look, I'm not saying Bugsnax changed my life or anything, but I really was not expecting to care about something called a Grumpus. And I wasn't expecting to think about how their struggles would apply to my own life as much as I did by the time I finished this game. This character-driven growth and development is really satiating, but as I gorged myself on Grumpus struggling with self-expression and sour romances, I couldn't help but wish for something to round out the final meal. In the middle of a feast, it can be difficult to say that you've eaten enough. Maybe you don't want to be rude to your host. Maybe you don't want to deal with leftovers the next day. Completing Bugsnax is like a delicious meal that you can't believe you ate every bite of. Yes, it was delicious. That last piece of pie really wasn't necessary. Now, I'm not saying that Bugsnax left a bad taste in my mouth by any means. Far from it. It's just that after completely filling out the journal, catching all 100 Bugsnax, and earning every random achievement, I had hoped for something more. There are really no gameplay-related completion rewards in Bugsnax. There is a sweet, if subtle, thank you to the players who've helped each character finish their journey. I was definitely compelled to fulfill all the requests for each character. And there is some nice closure at the very end of the game if you've taken the time. Each character has a tiny piece of dialogue that shows how they've grown and how they'll move forward in the future. I would have loved some kind of 80s movie-style freeze-frame credits that told me where all the characters ended up down the line. I guess the real reward is getting to help Grumpuses through their emotional trauma, but it would have been nice to have some acknowledgement in game that I had done everything there was to do. If completing Bugsnax was just making it through the story mode and solving the mystery at the heart of the game, I couldn't recommend it faster. But having to grind to do some of the more specific achievements is just slightly too much to do for too little reward. When I completed Bugsnax, there were 100 Bugsnax caught. Every single one of them says their name in a ridiculously cute way. The best one has got to be Bunger. Gets me every time. 8 Bugsnax catching tools mastered. 11 Grumps returned back to Snacksburg, which basically turned into not just therapy for them, but for me too. 12 hours of total playtime, and one incredibly accessible game that shows how the PS5 is going to dominate the console wars. Actually, no, I don't care about the console wars, everyone. I just think it's great that Sony put this game on PS Plus already. Seriously, if you manage to grab a PS5, it's on there right now. You can go check it out for yourself. Bugsnax is both familiar and something entirely new. I've been intrigued by the weird vibe and that banger of a song from the trailer for months now, and I'm happy to finally sunk my teeth and time into this game. It's a low-key, chill time, a great way to decompress after getting wrecked in a game like Demon's Souls, but I wish there were a little bit more in the way of completion bonuses. Still, the raw emotionality that comes out of nowhere is worth playing this game for. So, with that in mind, guys, I give this game my completionist rating of finish it.
Finish it!